Hello students, India is an agricultural country. So let's see how this agriculture helps India. Today we are going to discuss about lesson number 5, agriculture class 8. Agriculture. What is agriculture? Agriculture is a process of preparing the land for the cultivation of crops. It is made up of two words. One is agri, another is culture. Agri means land and culture means cultivation. Not only that, it also recognizes rearing of animals as a part of agriculture. Okay, that means pig farming, okay, or different types of animal farmings were there, or rearing of animals were there. That also includes agriculture. Now let's begin. Agriculture is a primary activity, as I have already told that 2/3 of India's population depends on agriculture. Now let's see the factors influencing agriculture. So what are the factors needed to improve our agriculture, or if these things were not there, then we will not be able to do agriculture. The first factor is climate. Okay, climate must be hot for some crops, must be cool for some crops, and sometimes it should be wet for some crops like rice. So certain crops need hot and wet climate. Okay, so due to which they grow well. Otherwise, if rice will be grown in some other areas where very hot is there and no wet conditions were available, then rice will not grow well. So in the same way, wheat is there. Wheat is a little bit different. Okay, their factors were different to grow. So all the crops grow in different weather conditions and different climatic conditions. So different soil condition, relief, and others. So whereas in soil you could see that different types of soils were there which support different crops, like black soil. Black soil supports cotton very well, and then alluvial soil, fertile alluvial soil, clay soils were there, those who support most of the crops. Like alluvial soil, fertile alluvial soil is best for the growing of rice. Next comes the relief. Relief, plains, valleys, plateaus. Okay, slope of the land. Okay, so suppose if it is a plain area, the crops will grow more. If it is a valley area, then there will be some restrictions regarding the growing of crops. Plain valleys means it is okay, but plateau regions, mountainous, hilly regions, there is very difficult to grow certain types of crops. Okay, so all the crops can't be grown there, and there are some restrictions even if it can be grown. So relief also matters. So plain area will grow more crops than all other areas. So then next comes the others. So other things were also needed, like irrigation facilities, size of land holdings, how much size does the farmer have, it is a big size or small size. Then transport is also needed. Now you can see the next one, that is the farm system. Okay, farm system includes inputs and outputs of agriculture. So within agriculture, inputs of agriculture were there. That is, खेती करने के लिए जो चीज जरूरी है, which is needed for doing agriculture, these are those things, and that is खेती करने के बाद हमको क्या मिलता है, that it is. Okay, so what is that input? We could see that human made irrigation, viii, fertilizers, pesticides, modern machines. Then natural inputs, if you could see, slope of land, fertile soil, rainfall, manure, sunshine, and earthworm. Okay, so earthworm you could see is needed to loosen the soil, whereas sunshine is also a natural input which is needed to grow everything in our earth. Manure, rainfall, fertile soil, slope of land, these things were also needed to grow a good quality of crops or good amount of crops. Then these things were made by humans or facilitated by the humans. So irrigation facilities can be given with the help of canals or hand pumps or motors and all. Then HYVs, that is high yielding variety of seeds, is also needed to grow large amount of to grow crops and to get output in large amount. Then fertilizers, pesticides were also needed for the growing of crops. Then afterwards, what we will get? We'll get crops we'll get dairy. So dairy is a part of animal, rearing of animal. Okay, fish, meat, wool, eggs, chicken, these are all rearing of animals, whereas crops and timber is the land cultivation. Okay, so land cultivation plus the rearing of animals together terms as agriculture. I hope you understand. Now let's talk about the process of agricultural farming. That is, what does the farmer has to do to grow crops? First, what he need to do, he need to select the land and he need to start plowing it. Okay, then the field, plowing the field, and then sow the seeds and then irrigate the land. Okay, if irrigation is there, then he will irrigate it with the help of canals or with the help of other things. If it is natural, then he will wait for the rainfall, then apply fertilizers and manures, may be organic, it may be man-made, then guard the crop from pests, birds, etc., and even the rats and all, and then weed out to take out the unwanted plants in between of the crops, in between of the valuable crops, then harvest it in the harvesting season and store it somewhere in the bhorals or in the storehouse, and then transport it towards the market so that the farmer can sell it into the market. So these are the things, these are the process needed. Now let's see about the types of farming. So types of farming, you could see the first type is given, that is nomadic farming. Okay, nomadic farming, the first type is nomadic farming. The next type is shifting cultivation, and the other one is subsistence. Other one is subsistence. Then the next one is commercial. Okay, so and then dairy. So I hope you understand what is a nomadic type of farming. Nomadic farming refers to the practice of farming in which herdsmen move from one place to another with their families and their livestock. Nomadic farming, it means in India, in some parts of India, near the Himalayas, it is carried out. So for 3 months they will do cropping here with their herds. Herds were also there, animals were also there. Okay, so after doing these all crops, they will move towards another area. Okay, and here there is a harvesting season, so they will harvest it here, and after harvesting, whatever the crops were left in the earth, that will be eaten by their herds, their goats, maybe their cows, maybe their buffaloes, maybe they used to eat it up, and then they will come back in a particular season when harvesting season starts here, and this happens in the cold and hot weather seasons. Okay, so during cold season, the mountainous area region used to come down towards the plain areas of shivaliks, and when hot season starts, they used to go above the mountains. Okay, so there whatever they have done, they will start harvesting it. Okay, so these were the things regarding the nomadic farm. Then comes shifting cultivation. Shifting cultivation means the slash and burn agriculture. It is mostly done in the northeastern part of India and in many other areas of Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh regions, and in other countries too. Okay, so this type of cultivation, for doing this, they need to select a particular piece of land. They need to cut off all the jungles, all the forests, all the trees, plants and all, and then burn it after some days, and whatever ashes will produce after burning those things, then those will act as a manure, and there only they will start doing the shifting cultivation. After 1 or 2 years, they will leave this land and they will search for a new piece of land for doing shifting cultivation, because this type of cultivation is only can be done for 1 or 2 years. Okay, because after that the quality of the soil decreases. Okay, then comes subsistence. Subsistence type of farming is of two types. One is intensive and another is primitive. So let's discuss first primitive subsistence farming. Within primitive subsistence farming, it was used from the age old custom. Okay, from the time of our grandfathers or the great grandfathers, we have seen the primitive style of farming was done. But later, after the coming of the modern techniques, then only the intensive subsistence farming was used. So during that time, what was the scenario? The scenario was that big pieces, plots of land were there, and those plots of land were done with the help of dowels, with the help of blocks, with the help of other primitive tools. Okay, or through by hand. So that is primitive methods, and they mix this primitive methods with herd also. Okay, so that is a primitive, and whatever produced through this primitive subsistence farming, that is only for the subsistence, only for their own family, not for selling it in the market. That is called subsistence, for living. Okay, not for selling it. Whereas you could see in the intensive subsistence agriculture, it is a type of farming where a farmer cultivates a small plot of land using simple tools and large amounts of labor. Okay, and they try to grow more than one crop in the same year. Okay, so a small plot of land is there, and this small plot of land, they started doing crops from January to, suppose, January to March, one crop. Another crop they will start from April to June, like that, and then from July to other. So within a year, 2 to 3 types of crops they used to grow. That is intensive. And the difference between the primitive and the intensive is that within primitive, the tools which were used, they are old. Okay, they were of primitive style, whereas in intensive they use modern tools. It is practiced in India and many other Southeast Asian countries. Now let's talk about the commercial farming. So commercial farming includes commercial grain farming, plantation and mixed farming. So what is commercial grain farming? So regarding commercial grain farming, you could see there were certain areas where rice is grown, and there were some areas where wheat is grown. Okay, so for example, in this area, in this Assam and northeastern India, we could see rice is grown mostly. But if we start growing wheat, then what we will do? Do we eat wheat? No, because rice is our staple crop, and most of the time we eat rice. So rice is our staple crop. Hence, whatever wheat we will grow in our fields, we will sell it. That is commercial type of farming. So in the same way, Punjab, Haryana's staple crop is wheat, whereas they grow wheat in less quantity, whereas they grow rice in huge quantity. The difference is that the rice they are not going to eat. The rice, what they will do? They will sell it into the market, due to which they grow rice within their area. So that is commercial type of farming. Then plantation agriculture, you know, tea is there, coffee is there, so these are all plantation agriculture. Then mixed farming. Mixed farming, you could see cultivation of food crops, fodder crops and the rearing of animals were done together. Within a piece of land, cultivation of crops for eating, okay, and cultivation of fodder crops for eating and to give them to the animals to eat, that is fodder. And not only that, they rear the animals in the same piece of land. So that is known as the mixed farming within commercial farming. Next comes ranching. Ranching is also there. It refers to the raising livestock for meat or wool, etc. Then dairy is there. Dairy farming, you know, the rearing of cattle on a large scale on the outskirts of cities for dairy and dairy products. Now let's talk about major crops. So you must have to know that crops are also classified into different types. Crops are also divided into classified into different crops, that is food crops, okay, then fiber and beverage, fiber crops and beverages, food crops, fiber crops and beverages. So beverage crops, okay, so what are food crops, what are fiber and what are beverages, you are going to come to know. So now let's discuss about the first food crops, then second fiber and then beverage. So you could see the names here, food crops, these are rice, wheat, millets, maize, pulses, this we eat, okay, and this is the fiber crops, cotton, jute, silk, and then beverage, tea, coffee. One another part is there, that is non-food crops. Within non-food crops you will get different other names you will get, like sugar cane, oils, non-grain crops, okay, not non-food crops. Non-grain crops were also there. These are grain crops, okay, these are non-grain crops, they are also crops only. So sugar cane will also come up, oil seeds will also come, so these things will come up. And let's discuss the first one, that is rice. So rice, you can see India is the second largest producer. It needs 25 degrees Celsius of temperature for its growth, high humidity and 100 centimeter of rainfall. More than 100 centimeter rainfall is needed to grow rice. Rice is grown in Haryana, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, okay, and in India Haryana and Punjab are the largest producer of rice in India. Then you could see wheat, okay, so wheat is the second one, that is it is the main food crop of north and northwestern India. Cool climate and 50 centimeter to 75 centimeter of rainfall, grown in Haryana, Punjab and Madhya Pradesh, as it is grown there in large scale. As I have already told you that Punjab, Haryana, the staple crop of theirs. Now millet crops. Millets are not a single crop, it includes jowar, bajra and ragi, okay, jowar, bajra and ragi, jowar, bajra and ragi. So this kind of crops includes millets, okay. High nutritional value, these crops were having high nutritional value. Jowar is grown mostly in Maharashtra, bajra is grown in Uttar Pradesh and ragi is mostly grown in Karnataka, etc. Okay, they are of high nutritional value. Then you can see maize. The temperature is 21 degrees Celsius to 27 degrees Celsius of temperature is needed to grow these crops. It is grown mostly in Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. Then pulses is there. So pulses is also not a single crop, okay. Pulses means arhar dal, moong dal, urad dal. It is not in the book, you could skip it if you want. It can be grown in dry condition where water is not available, okay, less moisture area, needs less moisture, and grown in Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. Then next see tea, okay. Tea needs tropical and subtropical areas or climate, okay, so needs soil full of fertility and organic matter. If tea is grown in some particular area where fertile less soil is there, then tea will not grow properly, okay, so it needs fertile area. In the same way coffee is too, okay. So tea is grown in Assam, Darjeeling and Kerala. India is the second largest producer of tea after China. Whereas coffee, India produces good quality coffee, that is Arabica variety of coffee, and it is grown in Kerala, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Okay, so first type of coffee is grown in Karnataka, areas of Karnataka, Baba Buden Hills, okay, in Karnataka. The next talk about cotton. Cotton needs light rainfall, bright sunshine and high temperature, okay. Cotton needs light rainfall, bright sunshine and high temperature. So it is grown in Maharashtra and Gujarat. Now let's talk about the jute. Jute known as golden fiber. It is also there. Gold. It is known as a golden fiber. It looks golden in color. Known for its high strength. Grown in West Bengal, Bihar. Okay. So due to its high cost, jute is losing its market with the synthetic nylon. Then comes silk. Okay. Silk is a fiber crop. I hope you all know what is a silk. Muga is there, so different types of mugas are available. It is obtained from the cocoons of the silkworm. So rearing of silkworm is called sericulture. Rearing of silkworm is called sericulture. I hope you understand this part. Now let's see the agricultural development. Okay, agricultural development, you understand in this sense, to meet or to satisfy the growing demand of an increasing population is called agricultural development. Okay, agricultural development strives to increase food security. As much agricultural development will occur, as much food security we people will get. So what is food security? Food security means sometimes what happens, the agricultural crisis comes. It means somewhere in some areas drought occur, somewhere flood occur. So during that situation, the government ensures that everyone who is suffering from drought or flood or any other natural calamities, they must get food, they must get their staple crop. So that is food security. So agricultural development is coming in India by the scientific inputs used by the farmers. So what are those? The modern techniques. What are the modern techniques? As I told, HYB seeds, tractors, modern tractors, and different types of drillers, machines, okay, irrigations, which includes agricultural development. Now let's talk about agriculture in India and its difficulties. So agriculture in India, as I told, 2/3 of its population, India's 2/3 of its population, it depends on agriculture. That is almost above 60%. Okay, of India's population is dependent on agriculture. The size of an average land holding in India is rather small, just 2.3 hectares. Okay, so size of land depends on the family and the land owned by the family. The small size of holdings in India is a result of fragmentation and subdivision of farms. So fragmentation means division of farms. A person is having 4 child, so 4 child will get one piece of land. Okay, one piece of land. So that is what happened. The big piece of land is divided into a small piece of land. That is known as fragmentation of land or subdivision of farms. So if a farmer is having 4 hectares of land, so one hectares of land will be given away to the every child. Now let's talk about the intensive methods of cultivation. So as it is a small plot of land for one child, so what he will do, he will try to use it intensively. So within a period of 1 year, he will start doing it for 2 to 3 times. Okay, he will do agriculture he will cultivate this land for 2 to 3 times. And not only that, he will use modern types of methods like tractors, irrigation, drillers, pesticides, fertilizers, different things. Okay. Then primitive methods of agriculture. As a result of their poverty, so sometimes the farmers, those who were rich, they were able to do this, but sometimes they are not rich, so they were poor. So what will happen then? They will use the primitive methods, and once they will use primitive methods, they are not going to get the output they want. Okay. So then rural indebtedness. Rural indebtedness is another unsavory feature of Indian agriculture. Marginal farmers and landless laborers often take money on loan from local money lenders at exorbitant rates of interest. Once the rate of interest increased, they were unable to pay. And not only that, sometimes during the agricultural crisis, during the time of drought or flood, or if the crop failure comes, at that time they were unable to pay back the loan, and which creates lots of difficulty to the farmer and their families. So now let's look at the 2 case studies. The 2 case studies of India and USA. In terms of India and USA, you could see India, Kamlabai and Kanhaiya name is given here. Kamlabai, 60-year-old farmer, Kanhaiya 49-year-old farmer. Okay, so within these two farmers, there were two different things installed here. One is using primitive tools, another is using well informed, okay, and modern, using modern techniques, and due to which what happened, Kamlabai one day was unable to repay old loans because of agricultural crisis. As I told, it may be flood, it may be drought, it may be crop failure. As they were unable to sell it into the market because there is no crop, so she was not able to get the new loan. Okay, so because she can't sell it into the market, that means she is unable to get the new loans. She is unable to pay the last loans. So if she will pay the last loans, then only she is going to get the new loans. Then Kanhaiya Lal, he owns 5 hectares of land, and he applied new techniques through which he got a good amount of agriculture, and due to which he got a better price too, and he settled his every loan, and then he got a new loan and he started doing it, and he became richer because he is well informed. But in terms of USA, if you see the case study in the USA, you could see highly advanced machines which we have not seen also till now. So these kind of machines were used, and they for growing crops, and which gives them a lot of output. Not only that, government of USA also looks after their farmers very well. So these are the things which differentiate the two farmers of these two countries, India and USA. I hope you understand this lesson very well, the agriculture. Thank you for watching it patiently. Thank you very much.